Hi boys and girls. Today we're going to read about Sergei Prokofiev. He was another Russian composer. I don't know if you can see him with the sun. Kind of hard to see. And if any of you are familiar with Peter and the Wolf, he wrote the music to that. So there's some things that he's probably written that you're familiar with. He was born in Ukraine, which if you get onto a map or a globe, it's close to Russia, in 1891, and he died in Moscow in Russia in 1953. But he's probably most famously known for Peter and the Wolf. Sergio heard music even before he was born. His mother, well pregnant, played the piano for hours each day, especially Chopin and Beethoven. As a child, Sergio never wanted to be anything other than a composer. After seeing Tchaikovsky's The Sleeping Beauty at the age of 8, he wrote his first opera called The Giant. When he wasn't composing, puppies is what he called his early pieces. He played with tin soldiers and dolls, built the dollhouses himself, and went walking on stilts. Sergio really smiled, and he wasn't popular. He always had to say what he thought. If someone said, "It's a pleasure to meet you," he might growl back, "On my part, there is no pleasure." When he was a student, he kept a chart of mistakes that other students made in class. He himself admitted that he was full of splinters. Nor was his music popular at first. Critics got so used to jumping on him that one once published a bad review of a piece that was never performed. They even picked on his appearance. He looks like the fourth from the Love for Three Oranges. His violent piano playing startled audiences. Some people said that the way he attacked the piano made them think of trees being uprooted. He had long, dangly arms and huge hands that were always moving over an invisible keyboard, even when he slept. But Sergio never gave up. If people walked out during his concerts, he blamed them, not the music. In America, he spent hours gazing at the skyscrapers around Central Park in New York, furious at the wonderful American orchestras that cared nothing for his music. Sergio married twice, once to a lady named Una, who was a Spanish singer, whom he had 2 sons, and later he married Mira, who was a Russian writer. He could work 14 hours a day, not stopping except to eat or to tell his children to be quiet. He wrote so much music that he tended to forget his own compositions. He'd hear a piece he'd liked on the radio, and then he'd realize that he'd written it. Sergio was unpopular even as a neighbor. He once was evicted when his downstairs neighbors accused him of playing the same barbaric chord on the piano 218 times in a row. He always dressed carefully. He wore a jacket and a tie to breakfast. He was fond of a bright red dressing gown and loved perfume. He would walk for miles in any weather to buy cigarettes. Again, the smoking. And he'd give the colored cigarette boxes to children on his walks. Not the cigarettes, just the boxes. He had a wolf-like dog named Mendoza and a cat who liked to sleep in his favorite armchair. Sergio might have liked this book. He loved biographies of musicians. He himself kept a diary, which he wrote in the bathroom, and notebooks containing all his reviews, even the bad ones, and notes on his chess games. Next to music, he loved to play chess, and he was an excellent player. His final opera, A Tale of Real Men, was banned by Russian leader Joseph Stalin for political reasons and was never produced during Sergio's lifetime. When Sergio died of a stroke at the age of 60, his death went unreported for a week because Stalin had died on the same day. Stalin was kind of like, I don't know, I call him a president. He was a dictator. So he was in charge. He was like the dictator of Russia at that time. So what I'd like to say is, again, he's wrote lots of wonderful music, but if you like, you can go to Pandora and look up Peter and the Wolf and listen to that, because that's probably going to be the one that's going to sound most familiar to you. And I hope you enjoyed our time together today. And I apologize, the sun is in a it's in a bad place right now, so I hope I don't look too strange. Bye.